last start in the major leagues came at the age of 31 back in 1970 due to injury. He made one All-Star appearance back in 65, the year of his 10 innings of no-hit ball. So basically, Scott, it's just a matter of that prime being compressed. But right here, we're seeing the prime version of Jim Maloney.
Mows down Gehrig and then Mantle, and that's now one full turn through the Yankee order since Maloney last allowed a base runner. Inning number 5 at Yankee Stadium. The Reds are empty-handed so far. Johnny Bench, and a fastball blows by him for the first down.
With Guidry, it's been much better fastball command, and we're seeing the slider thrown for strikes as well. When he has both of those pitches going, that is the best of Ron Guidry.
Strikeout show here. George Foster flailing at a slider. 2 put away, and Ted Kluszewski's up. He's been quiet in this series, the designated hitter. And pitching rules. That's now 17 consecutive outs. Yankees up a run in this game 6, and Reggie Jackson knows all about delivering in moments like this. Let's go back to 1977 when he hit 3 home runs in one game 6.
The drive to right field and deep. Chris going back, away back, it's gone. Home run, Reggie Jackson. Going, gone. Another home run for Reggie Jackson.
Oh, what a blow! What a way to top it off! Forget about who the most valuable player is in the World Series.
And of course, Scott, one of only 5 instances in World Series history in which a player hit 3 home runs in a single game. Babe Ruth had 2 of them. Reggie had 1, and then more recently, Albert Pujols and Pablo Sandoval did it in back-to-back years, 2011 and 2012.
We'll see what Mr. October has for us here. Up the middle, through the shifted infield, and he's on with a single.
So Jackson's Oakland Athletics actually defeated the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series in 1972, but Mr. October did not play. He actually injured his hamstring against the Tigers in the 1972 ALCS.
Rodriguez puts one on the ground, and he's going to trade places with Jackson. They get the force at second.
A-Rod had an OPS over 800 in his lone World Series appearance with the Yankees back in 2009.
And that was a winning appearance for the Yankees, the last time they've won. Yogi Berra zips it to right. Robinson back at the track, and he's got it.
What a catch by Robinson. Scott, I didn't realize before this series began just how great of a defender Frank Robinson was in right field.
We are seeing that on display today. A lot of work for Robinson and Foster in this series with all the Yankee heavy hitters. A strikeout for Maloney of Lazzeri, and we are on to the top of the 6th. Eric Davis works a leadoff walk. That is the wrong guy to let go.
Exactly right. Someone who once stole 80 bases in a major league season. He is not someone that Guidry wanted to see on base, but of course Guidry, as a lefty, a pretty good pickoff.
Davis is 11 for 11 in his stolen base attempts. Barry Larkin, fly ball to left, and he's now 0 for 6 against Guidry in the series.
Now, though, turning the lineup over, Rose batting from the right side, the Reds still with a chance to tie this ballgame here in the 6th.
That is smoked on the ground. Jeter's going to go to first with it, and Davis dashes to second. 103 miles an hour off the bat.
But still, with how fast Davis is, could not double them up.
Joe Morgan down the line, and the Reds have arrived. Davis races home. Morgan's double ties the game.
Perfect placement right down the line by the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. Again, Morgan's numbers haven't been great, that 217 average so far in the dream bracket, but timely hitting with the 17 RBI.
He has a single, a double, and a triple off Guidry in the series. And look at Votto smacking that pitch into center. And just like that, the Reds grab the lead. It's his 30th RBI of the tournament, tops among all players.
Scott, we are seeing now why Joey Votto is probably on his way to the Hall of Fame. You think back, and our own Keith Costas with a great note about this. Since 1950, on-base percentage for career, the only 2 players he trails, Mickey Mantle and Barry Bonds.
Among very good company, that man knows how to get on base, and he drives in a big run for the Reds. They have 2 in the inning, and after the Frank Robinson hit, Johnny Bench pops one up. But look at the Reds swooping in, a 2-run 6th, and they take the lead.
What a momentum turn. Guidry had seemed to be settling in, finally having found his footing, but then gives up 2, and now the Reds ever closer to that stunning historical upset.
What is the reply from the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th? Derek Jeter ships it to right, and that's another great catch by Robinson.
Tremendous defense by Frank Robinson, and again, now you have this game of getting outs. You're starting to count the outs down. Scott, along those lines, you wonder, at what point in time do the Reds go to the incredible Nasty Boys bullpen? You're rested after the travel day from Cincinnati. Maybe you're going to want one more inning at the most from Maloney.
Maloney's looking good here. He gets DiMaggio. Babe Ruth, opposite field. He might have another. He did it again. The legend is reality. This game is tied at 2.
Oh, for the Cincinnati Reds, they had just taken the lead in the top of the 6th. They were thinking about winning that dream bracket in the post-game celebration. But here comes the Bambino. We're tied again, Scott. Drama to come.
You mentioned it, JP. Should they have already dipped into their bullpen with so many big arms waiting to go? Maloney's still going. Gehrig grounds to the pitcher, and that will sit down the side. We're into the 7th, and here comes George Foster. And that's a leadoff single. And now the Yankees will dive into their bullpen and bring on lefty Dave Righetti.
For Guidry, certainly a much better outing overall, but the bullpen is strong there as Righetti now comes into the game.
Hey, he put his team in a place where it is a fresh ball game in the 7th, holding this Reds offense down as much as he could. Ted Kluszewski to center. 1 down.
Scott, I am stunned here. The Reds have not utilized Tony Perez, the righty bat, off the bench. Kluszewski clearly struggling against all the lefty pitching. Hall of Famer, Scott, right there. Perez could be your DH.
Eric Davis scored the first run for the Reds in this game 6. He flies out to center. Yeah, they have remained very consistent, JP, with their lineup selection, and so have the Yankees for that matter.
They have, and for good reason. They're certainly with the Yankees. I had advocated at different times, as were the tabloids. Drop Jolton Joe in the lineup, move him down with all the struggles, but they've stayed with him and now still have a chance to win this series.
Larkin is retired, and we're in the last of the 7th. The MLB Dream Bracket presented by DraftKings, Scott Braun, and JP Morosi. Jim Maloney still going in this 2-2 game. Mickey Mantle, Morgan playing him to pull and getting the out.
With Chapman and John Franco and Charlton, Myers, I'm a little surprised here there's not a lefty up for Reggie Jackson.
And a swing and a miss. A nice hook from Maloney.
Maloney has certainly given the Reds everything they could have hoped for here.
They're still letting him go here. Alex Rodriguez. Frank Robinson with more reps in right field, and he flags it down. We are through 7. Top 8. Who's going to break this tie in game 6? If the Reds end up on top, the series is over. And Pete Rose will knock one up the middle for a base hit. That extends his hitting streak to 9.
And here comes the question. We talked in the open, Scott, about how great the Reds have been creating offense at the top. Does Morgan hit behind Rose here to move him up?
A-Rod goes to second, and that will start up the double play. They get 2.
A devastating turn of events there for the Reds. They had their best contact hitter at the plate. Instead, the result, a double play.
And so now the bases are cleared for Joey Votto. Past a diving Lazzeri, that's a 2-out single. That probably would have brought in a run.
It's a great point, Scott, that had things unfolded differently, the Reds would now have a nice 1-run lead here in the 8th inning.
The Hall of Famer Goose Gossage was not touched until his 14th appearance. Game 5, a solo home run by Eric Davis. Frank Robinson finding some open real estate. Votto sprinting around. He's heading home. He's going to score, and Robinson goes to third with an RBI triple. The Reds are back on top. It's 3-2.
What a moment for the Cincinnati Reds. Maybe some Yankee fans wondering why not bring in Rivera in the eighth, but this has been what they've done all along. Gossage first, then Rivera. You've got a Hall of Famer there. It was the right call by the Yankees. It was just brilliant execution by Frank Robinson.
Filthy changeup by Gossage, but he does crack when he comes in. It's a run for the Reds, and the big boys in the bullpen are ready. As we're in the late stages of this game, let's open up the memory vaults. Carlton Fisk in the 12th inning against the Reds in 1975 did this.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run. We will have a seventh game in this 1975 World Series.
The home run off Pat Darcy, one of the most iconic moments in American sports history, and now a fellow Hall of Fame catcher hoping to etch his own indelible moment against the Reds.
Chapman gave up his first run of the tournament in Game 3 when he walked Mickey Mantle with the bases loaded. Maloney was brilliant. 7 innings, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, and Yogi Berra starts the inning with a single.
And that really, Scott, left on left against Chapman is about as good as you could expect.
Just fight, get on, and that's what Yogi does. Tony Lazzeri struck out against Chapman in Game 2, and he whiffs at a slider.
Trying to move the runner up, unable to do it. Berra needs to be in scoring position right now.
Derek Jeter hitting well under 200 in this series. Nasty bite on that slider.
Oof. Similar result there, Scott. Jeter's swing path always so great to right center field and right field, but could not deliver there.
Joe DiMaggio destroys that pitch, and he did it! Joltin' Joe saves the series. 4-3 Yankees on this roller coaster ride through Game 6.
Scott, if I'm not mistaken, the arc on that ball very similar to Aaron Boone in 2003. Different dimensions here, of course, at the ballpark, the new Yankee Stadium, in comparison to what DiMaggio had back in the day. But that ball was scalded. The Yankee fans are on their feet, and we have a major moment in the Bronx.
And shades of Rajai Davis, who also pulled a Chapman fastball with 2 outs in the 8th inning in the 2016 World Series for the Indians.
Driving to left. At the wall. It's gone. Tie game. Rajai Davis.
The Indians did not prevail in that game, Scott, but the moment endures for what it represented all by itself. Rajai Davis, one of the great people in the game, he will still smile when you mention that moment to him.
There are 2 outs for Babe Ruth. And Chapman loses it. And they're going to pull Chapman for Randy Myers.
Bullpen management's going to be second guessed. Scott, if the Reds do not win this game, you consider where they're at right now. They're still out hitting the Yankees 7-5, but for the Yankees, it's been all about the power at the right times.
Lou Gehrig and Davis racing for it, makes a diving catch. So now the Reds have 3 outs to work with, or we will be back in this park for a Game 7. And they've been waiting to use this weapon all series. The all-time saves leader, the Hall of Famer, Mariano Rivera, against George Foster to start off the inning. And Rivera makes quick work of him.
Enter Sandman pumping over the loudspeakers. And Scott, that is one song, my friend, that I'm not going to try to sing. It's not really a singing song, is it?
I don't think so. Your Kluszewski song is much more singable, but he's down on strikes, so he can't give you any reason for it. And there are 2 outs.
Again, I'm thinking Tony Perez needed a hit right there, but that's a conversation maybe for Game 7.
Here's Eric Davis. He won't even swing, and we will have an all-time Game 7. Joe DiMaggio's 8th inning burst gives the Yankees a 4-3 win.